about me from 3 floors up. It's funny, they'll complain about how my grades are slipping and how unsocial I've become, but they don't even bother to ask why. Parents of the year? Crap, I forgot. I need $20 for a required trip to the planetarium, but I know they won't give it to me. They've just owned me from our family fortune until I crawl out of this troubled state, or so it seems. Which, come to think of it, is also the reason I've lost all the worthless pigs from my pen, or friends from my life. I'd always been afraid that they were only in it for the money, and oh look at that, I was right. Parents even know I was the ex-amble of a girlfriend that I'd been going steady with for 4 great years was cheating on me with my best friend. Whatever. Who needs a girlfriend and friends and good grades for college anyway? I have headphones and screens. All I need to get me through my day. After enduring another typically hellish sentence in the inferno that is Moachire High, I traveled down the street at an agonizing pace in order to flee from the concentration camp as swiftly as I possibly can. The thought of going home makes me a nervous, nauseated wreck, but it's better than school because at least I can be alone. My music's turned all the way up in order to block out all the blissful cacophony the world is posting. I need these dumb thoughts to leave my dumb head. I have one thing and one thing only on my mind. Tim. What a lame excuse for a best friend. I can't wrap my head around the fact that he was banging my girlfriend behind my back for 3 months now. Julia, Tim. The 2 people in this world I could actually kinda stand. Banging. Behind my back. Freaking idiots. I really, truly loved Julia, though, and that's why this whole thing hurts like hell. It kills me inside knowing I wasn't superior enough for her and that she had the courage to do something like this after 4 years of us being together. 4 years. She just threw it all away as if I was trash. Maybe I was trash. We use the word love in such a sloppy way that it could mean almost nothing to absolutely everything. She threw that word around like it was nothing, but to me, it was everything. I look around the crowded streets and see the cheerful smiles plastered on people's faces. Sick bastards. They don't deserve to be pleased. I deserve to be pleased. Everything I've had has been ripped from me like candy from a child's hands. I'm fed up with it all. In order to avoid the disgusting rapture, I turn down the back alley that I normally use to escape humanity. I walk to the beat of the screamo music damaging my eardrums and try not to think about Julia or Tim or my other friends or my parents or school or anything. I just walk. I get a weird paranoia that I'm being followed, so I glance behind me and see shadows advancing at startling speeds. I pull my headphones out and start sprinting away. I know this can only mean trouble.
Where are you going, failure?
I hear a person behind me snarl loudly. Fury rises in my chest as I recognize the voice. I stop running and turn around to face the challenge that encounters me. The shadows reveal themselves as Tim, shaggy, blonde hair and all, and 2 of his trusty, unsurprisingly drunken sidekicks.
Julia is mine now, loser.
Tim snarls as he snatches my black t-shirt in one hand, yanking it pugnaciously enough to make it tear in the front. I shove him away into 2 of his cronies and turn around to walk, a desperate attempt to be a better person despite the exponential mounting anger inside of me. I want to kill him, I think to myself as I flee the scene. Out of nowhere, a hand grabs my shirt from behind, ripping the remainder of it off and ruining any attempts I had at pacifism. The attacker's large, sturdy hands enclose on my shoulders and turn me around harshly. Before I had time to react, a fist comes flying straight for my face. I duck and immediately send back a fist of my own. It connects with the warm, soft skin and sends the attacker flying to the ground. I immediately jump on Tim and start pounding at his face relentlessly. Mid-punch, a shoe smashes my side, a bone-breaking kick that leaves me gasping for breath. I look up to see one of Tim's friends preparing to deliver another dose of rib-splitting trauma, so I swiftly move out of the way, catching his leg and pressing hard on his kneecap until I hear a satisfying crack. Tim's friend lets out a scream almost as beautiful as my iPods and drops to the ground, clutching his now mutilated knee. 1 down, 1 to go, I say to myself. I turn to see Tim and his other friends standing behind me. Luckily for me, I spot a glass beer bottle in one of the cronies' hands. Tim, speedier than lightning, grabs me from behind, pinning me down while motioning for his friend to hit me with the container. His buddy swings, but I wiggle frantically, just barely avoiding the bottle. I elbow behind me and hit Tim right in the gut. He lurches over in pain, and I take the opportunity to launch myself into the remaining hoodlum friend, slamming his head into the wall. He falls to the ground and releases the glass bottle, unmoving. From my vantage point, I see the chump whose knee I smashed hobbling away as quickly as he can. Poor bastard. Limping, crying like a baby, cradling his wound as he flees in silent defeat. What a coward. Kid won't even stay to help his pals. Almost as crummy as a friend as mine are. Almost. I take a second to examine the unconscious body of my second victim. He lies limply in a pool of blood with an ugly gash along his hairline. That'll teach him, I think to myself. And with that, I turn around to face my final target with an utmost coolness rivaled only by the most intrepid man in history. All of my energy restores as the adrenaline pumps into my system. Tim dashes towards me, jumps, taking me to the ground with him. I use the momentum of the tackle to roll him underneath me. With the superior position, I use my advantage and grab the beer bottle from Tim's right. His eyes are huge, petrified with fear, pleading without saying a word. "What happened to the bro code?" I scream at him, face hot with rage as I finish things that have gone far too long. "What happened to friendship? To honesty? I trusted you and you took the one thing that I cared about. You are one sick bastard, Timothy Seiferlein." And with that, I slam the glass bottle into the side of his head with the force of 10,000 horses. Tim's icy blue eyes roll into the back of his skull as the blood from his head drains with incredible speed. His breaths are slow and shallow, and I watch as they end completely. I move off of him and lay down only to find my back resting in a pool of blood. Disgusted by the warm, sticky liquid, I push myself into an upright position. I sit, victorious. An overwhelming sense of euphoria fills my soul for the first time in ages. Never have I felt so real, so alive. Nothing in this world or the next can compare to this sensation of triumph, this relief from the oppression that life has plagued me with. Even with the knowledge that I have killed a human being like myself, with friends and family and a future, can diminish the awesome ecstasy filling every inch of my invincible body. I am immortal. No one can stop me. I feel on top of the world, for I finally have a cause to live. At last, I'm not just running for the sake of running. I'm running from something. I have a legitimate motive to leave this dead-end small town, this tyranny and loneliness that I have endured for 18 long years. Still powered by the adrenaline of the fight, I get up and clear the scene. I carefully hide all of the evidence, including my tattered shirt. I do my best to clean up the blood and move both the internally and temporarily unconscious bodies behind a rusty green dumpster. The cool spring air tickles my exposed torso, despite the warm, now crusting blood of my victims coating my back. I glance around and hesitate for only the slightest second, but before I even know what I'm doing, I'm 3 blocks down, sprinting faster than the wind. I run behind buildings and strip malls, hidden from the insanity of this mad world. Stop. I will not slow down. Not now, not ever. I am every stride and every labored breath. I am real and alive and me. I am Bryant Colo. I am unbreakable and I am totally me.